So in this video, I'm just going to quickly review how to count in Excel, which will include counting numbers, text, and blanks. So let's go, well, first of all, here's our data, and I just put a little gray background so we can see it. And the data is a mix of text, numbers, and some blanks. So typically you'd have your cities here and your numbers here, but just to put it all together to demonstrate how we can count things in different ways. So first of all, let's go in here, equals, we're going to use this function count to count the numbers. How many numbers do we have in this range? So I type in the equal sign, type in the function, and all we need in here is a range of values. Press the enter key, and I'll just format this actually to a number with no decimals. So the answer, let's just make this a little bit bigger. There are two numbers in this range, and we can see them, the 42 and the 198. So now we want to count all the cells that are not blank. So go like this, type that in, and it tells us in the little screen tip the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So we'll highlight that same range, close the bracket off, press enter. There are 6 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to go over to count blank cells. Select the range again, ending bracket, and press the enter key. And there's one cell that's blank in that range, which is this cell. So now we get into counting with a condition. So basically we're saying we want to count something, but only if our condition is met. So let's do a couple of examples here. Count if, and we'll go to our range, and we're going to say, put a comma, and for some of you it might be a semicolon. Whatever you see here is what you type in. So after the range, if it's a comma, you type a comma. If it's a semicolon, you type a semicolon. Go like this. And within quotes, I'm going to say greater than 100, and then put my quotes in again. So this is going to count numbers in this range that are greater than 100. I press the enter key, and there's only one of them. So which is this one right here. Now let's change this and say greater than 10. I press the enter key, and of course we get 2. I could also put the number outside in a cell somewhere. So here's my criteria number. In this cell I'm going to say greater than, and then I put the ampersand and point to the value in a cell. Press enter. So this is doing the same thing. Let's just take this and put it over here as a text. To do that, I type in an apostrophe like this, as you can see in the formula bar, paste in the formula text, and I press enter. So this is how we do it if you want to refer to the number in a cell. Over here, I'm going to change this back to what I had before and say greater than 10. So the 10 is hard-coded inside of the formula. And finally, starting in Excel 2007, I believe, I have 2010 here, count ifs. So now they allow you to count with multiple conditions. So let's just demonstrate that. Count ifs. So let's just see the screen tip, given a set of conditions. So the first thing we do is put in our criteria range 1, and let's just say we want to go like this, comma, what's our first criteria? Let's just say we want to count things that are greater than 50. Put the ending quote. And of course, we'll just use the same range again. And we want to say our second criteria. So these go in pairs. Criteria range 1, criteria 1. Criteria range 2, criteria range at the back. We're going to say less than 200. Put the double quote, and then I'm going to close this off. So you might also notice in here that there are no square brackets around these two. You have to have a range, at least one range, and at least one criteria. After that, the square brackets indicate that these are all optional. You can have more sets, but at a minimum, you have to have one criteria range and one criteria. So now I'm going to add the ending bracket and press enter. So we're counting based on two conditions here. Let's just put this in a cell as well. I type the apostrophe, which we see here, and I paste in the formula text. So we're counting any of the values that are greater than 50 and less than 200. And of course, there's only one of them. So if I change this to 500, watch what's going to happen to this cell. I press the enter key. Now there's 0 because we have a range in here, greater than 50 and less than 200. So if I change this back, let's say I'll change it to 155, now we have 1 again. So this was just a quick video to show you how the various ways to count things in Excel. In a future video, I'll show you how to count its text using wildcards.